Hey everyone, I am Shreya and I look into the SharePoint taxonomy and content type. And with me today, we have the engineering counterpart, Karan, Swapnil and Ravi joining us to discuss about content type sync. I'll just briefly go through the agenda that we have. I would want to give a overview around what is the new content type sync, what are we trying to achieve with this new content type sync, then give you the new content type sync demo through the UX just to get an understanding about how much have we improved with our new timer job. And then I'll hand it over to Swapnil, who will give a brief overview around the new CT-Sync graph APIs that we have launched. We already have content type related graph APIs, but this is additional capability that would enable developers to basically sync content types from the hub to particular sites. Then we have some helpful links and finally feedbacks and any questions that you might have, and we are happy to incorporate that. All right, so what is basically the new content type sync that we're talking about? Now, initially, what we really had was the push everywhere model. That means any admin or any user who created a content type in the content type hub or the gallery, whenever that content type got created, a timer job used to run who used to take all these new content types and copy it to all sites in that organization. Now, the problem with that was twofold. One is, what if there are many content types added? So that will lead to a scaling issue. Or what if there are so many sites in the organization that syncing would take time? So naturally, we face the continuous issue where the sync would take a lot of time, it would error out, it would time out, leading to a lot of escalations and overall bad performance. Now, we are happy to announce that now we have a different type of content type sync that we call pull as needed. Now, what does that mean? You call the content type that you need, and we will make it available right away. What does that mean? Whenever an admin will create a new content type in the content type hub, that content type after publishing will be immediately available for use in any sites in that organization. Only when the user will apply that content type to that particular site will we pull that content type particular to the site and make it available. That way, the problem of scale and availability is gone and content types are rightly available whenever you want to use it in your particular site. With this all knowledge by far, I'll just show you how does that work in action from the SharePoint Admin Center. I'll go quickly here. All right, so I think most of you are familiar. This is the content type gallery that exists in the SharePoint Admin Center. I'll just quickly hit refresh and here I go create a content type. So I'll just name it demo content type 1. And I will use an existing category. I'll use content type. And just to make it interesting, let me not, yeah. So this is a new content type that I'm going to create. It's going to get created. This is getting created in the content type gallery or the content type hub. And just for, for the fun of it, I'll also create a new column, which is I give the name of test column 1 and I save it. Right. And I go on to publish this. So this is happening from the content type gallery. And I publish this. Now, as soon as I publish this, right, this is another demo SharePoint site that I've created. Here, if I go on to content type and I see here demo content type is immediately available. And also just to check the content, we have name, title, and the test column 1 that I created. So it is immediately available and then I can click apply. The moment when this content type is going to get added to the SharePoint site. Perfect. Now it is quickly available here. I can easily create documents. So if we do not have all the content types that I don't need and only have the one that I need. Also, I'll just show quickly another flow where what if I create a new site column? My requirements changed and I create a new site column here and I save it. And obviously, since I changed it, I need to republish it. Okay, I think this is changed. I'll just quickly check. Name more content type. Yeah, we have test column 2 here and it is also republished, just for confirmation. Perfect. Now, what if I go to this another library in this SharePoint site and it does not have this content type added? I just go on to content type and I should be able to see demo content type here. When I go to demo content type, voila, we have test column 2 as well added here, which is the latest update that I did. And here it is, I'm adding it. All right. Now, what about the content type, the content that I added before that update? This documents received that content type before I made that update, right? So if I create a document from this content type, suppose I create this document or docs, if I go to this property and I check it, the test call 2 is also available here. So once you have applied that content type to a particular library, updates to the content type will come almost real time through the timer job right away for the sites that has already pulled the content type. And for new content type, the recent changes will be available to apply. And just to give you another flavor, if you go to site settings and go to site content type, we also have. All right, so here, since the content type that we added was demo content type, if I make a search here, you would see this demo content type is in a readable format, and that is taken from the content type hub. So that way you can also see the latest updates that are there for this content type in the site level content type gallery as well. Now with this demo from the UX side, I'll just quickly also hand over to Swapnil for the demo of the APIs.
So hi everyone, I'll be going through all the graph APIs that we have added as part of this CT sync scenario. So the first API is the get compatible hub content type API, which returns the content types that can be added to a target site or list from the content type hub site. So I'll just quickly. Yeah, so here you can see there's a content type that is published in content type hub test CT1, and this can be added to a list, in this case documents list in the target site collection. So in order to add that content type, then I'll move on to the second API, which is the add copy from content type hub API, where the content type ID is the required parameter request, body parameter for the request. And once I send out a request, this will basically this request can work both synchronously and asynchronously based on the content type that is being pulled. So in this case, the content type is being pulled synchronously, and you can see that this content type has been added to the list. And if you navigate to the list, you can see that content type will be available to use, as Shreya showed that earlier. Now, in case of async request, the response would be the response body would be empty, but in headers there will be one location header where you will get the operations API to track the state of that sync operation or the pull operation that is happening from the content type hub. So this operation currently takes at least 10 minutes to complete. So anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, that should be enough to pull the content type to a target site. And once the operation is triggered, the starting state would be something like this, like not started. And once it is successful, you'll get a succeeded status in that operations API URL response. And a quick note on permissions. So for all of these APIs, you need at least sites.manage.all permissions for them to work. That's it from my side. Back to you, Vesa.
Excellent. Shreya, do we go back on your screen still? I think you had some slides still to.
Yeah, I just had some helpful links to share. I'll just copy paste all these links and I'll just share it in the chat for everyone's consumption. I think that was it. So thank you for the opportunity for making us present here. Thank you.
Excellent, and good discussion on the chat. Let's certainly follow up on the questions. Thank you on that one. It's great to see these improvements, because this way we can centrally control and manage those content types properly, finally. So content type, being an old school 15 years in SharePoint, the content type half was a great idea, but it always had small flaws. So this is finally making it work. So really, really good.